We talked about the Vijnanvad. Another school of the Mahayana philosophy, which is very important, is Shunyavad. Shunyavad has been given by Nagarjun, and as the name suggests, he believed that the reality is Shunya. Shunya in Hindi, Shunya is a Hindi word and it means zero. So, nothing, zero, undescribable actually. That is the reality, Shunya. Now, is it nothingness? It is zero. Is it nihilism? Is it nothingness? So there are two extremes. One is nihilism, another is something is eternal. Now the Shunyavad is actually the middle. Shunyavad is actually the Madhyam Marg. It is Mool Madhyam Marg of Nagarjuna. That is Shunyavad. Shankar criticized Shunyavad saying that it is Vinashika, Sarva Vinashika. Shankar used the word Sarva Vinashik. He said that Shunyavad is nothing but nihilism, but it is a very weak form of translation of Shunyavad. We're going to see how it is. So now it is a Madhyamarg, they believe in the middle path. And how exactly this concept of Shunya came? So Nagarjun said that Buddha's silence was nirvana. What was Buddha's silence? He said that Buddha's silence is Chatush. Chatush means four. Koti. Koti means attributes. Vinirmukt. Devoid of the bondage or the negation. Koti is attribute and Chatush is four. So he said that beyond our intellect is we have four forms of intellect. We're going to see what are the four forms of intellect. The nirvana is actually beyond the four forms of the intellect. Beyond the four forms of intellect, this is the nirvana, Chatush Koti Vinirmukt. Talking about the intellect, beyond the four forms of intellect, so the gyan that a human can have can be in the form of intellect, that is tark, or the gyan can be pragya, which is something that when you're going to realize the absolute, you'll get pragya. In this material world, you have tark, you have intellect to break the things down. That's how you're going to know the reality. This tark is of four forms, and Nagarjuna is saying that the reality is beyond all these four forms. That is one way of Shunyavad, that reality is beyond, it is indescribable, it is zero. This is one way in which uh, Nagarjuna gave Shunyavad. This is one explanation. Another explanation is the relativity, which is the true, which is the main form of Shunyavad. This is the main way in which they are describing the Shunyavad, that the things of this world are relatively unreal. Relatively unreal. Not actually unreal, but they are relatively unreal. In this, we'll study about the Kant. Kant gave the concept of the phenomena and noumena, if you have studied Kant. So he also said that there are some things which are transcendental, which are beyond this world, and some things are in this world. Now, the things of this world are true till the time we are seeing them true. Like in the dream state. In the dream state, it is a dream state because at that time you don't know that you're dreaming. When you wake up from that dream, then only you come to know that it was a dream, right? At that time, it is the reality. Similarly, he's saying that the whole world is relatively unreal. When you're going to wake up, the transcendental reality The great reality you are going to know at that time only. Right now, it's for you, this is the real thing. The Kant phenomena, that is the similar way Nagarjun also said. So this is the main thing that needs to be focused on, but everyone is focused on this nihilism, nothingness. So let's talk about the reality. I am using the word reality a number of times. So what exactly is reality? So reality is tattva. A little tongue twister. So it is tathat. You can say it like that. So what is reality? Reality is ultimate existence. If in words I'm going to say, how I'm going to say that the reality is ultimate existence. It is pure spirit, or it is harmonious, or it is bliss. People say that reality is bliss with infinite merits. So that's what the reality is, right? The reality is either this empirical world which we are saying, or from the point of philosophy it is nirvana. In this empirical world we have cycle of birth and death. When you're going to get nirvana, you'll be free of them. But this, whatever I'm saying, this Nagarjun is saying that it is, in reality it is indescribable. Whatever we are trying to describe is not true. How? He's saying that we can either talk of the reality in a way that something is existence. We can say that something is existing, or we can say something is not existing, or we can say it is both existing and not existing, or we can say it is neither existing not nor not existing, on the basis of ontology. Now if something is existing, then we must know a time when it was not existing. Like, I bought you an apple, so there was a time when there was no apple. It is relative, dependent on cause and effect, so it can't be true. If something is not existing, if something is not existing, then again it's relative, can't be true. If something is both existing and non-existing, then it's contradictory. And if something is neither existing and non-existing, then this, for this we cannot think of an example. Neither it's existing and neither it's not existing. It's just the words. So in all the four ways, you cannot describe the reality. Again, in the nature, in the nature we can see either it's unity, or it's plurality, or there is both unity and plurality, or it is neither. So if something is in unity, then it must have parts. If it's not, if it has parts, then automatically it will become perishable. So that can't be reality. If you are saying that it is plural, if it has many parts, then how exactly they are becoming one part? Plurality and unity, they are vice versa. Both is contradictory, neither we cannot find an example. In linguistic, if I say that P is equal to Q, P is Q. If I say P is Q, then it will be cause and effect. Then there will be problem of cause and effect. If P is Q, then there will be problem of cause and effect. If P is not Q, if I say, then negation is always through something which, negation is always relative. Like, someone is not tall, then you must have seen someone who is tall enough. That is the reason you're able to compare it. So relative is there, so it can't be the reality. Both will be contradictory. It will be like light and dark. P is also there, Q is also there, so light is also there, dark is also there. So it's very contradictory, two opposite things. Neither is not possible. If P is also not there, Q is also not there, then it is skepticism. It is pure skepticism. Nothing is there. You are being skeptic about every single thing. This again, you cannot explain the reality. So you cannot, how exactly reality originated? If I say what is the origin of reality, I cannot say that. Is it self caused or it is caused by the others? If it is caused by other, then the reality cannot be real. Then the reality is unreal, something else is real. If it is both, again contradiction. And if it is neither, then it will be skepticism. So, all in all, we just cannot tell about the reality. We cannot describe the reality. It is undescribable. So, I'm not able to describe the reality. So, that is the reason Nagarjun said that it is Shunya. And at the very least, if I consider that's not Shunya, it's a Shunya. Suppose I say that it's a Shunya. Now, if it is a Shunya, then what will happen? Then that means there is no nirvana. Then you'll just live in this world. And what is this world? What is the first truth? That world is full of suffering. That will become the reality. There won't be nirvana. There won't be the cause of the suffering. It will be all suffering. So the relevance of the teachings of the Buddha will be gone. There won't be any nirvana. There won't be any ashtangic mark. Everything will be challenged. So he said that we have a madhyam marg for you, which is between the nihilism and eternity. This is eternity, eternity of suffering. So no, not eternity of suffering, not nihilism. There, Shunyavad is a madhyam mark. Okay, and again, the shunya. The shunya can be of two type. One, it can be swabhav shunya. Other can be prapanch shunya. Swabhav shunya means this world is full of suffering, but if you have studied Pratitya Samutpat, everything was, dependent. It was a chain, Jati, Bhav, Trishna, everything was dependent. So they are all dependent, they were all relative. Relative cannot be the ultimate reality. The reality will be absolute in itself. So so it is Swabhav Shunya. Due to their own nature only, they are not complete. So their Swabhav is Shunya. Their Swabhav Shunya. Other is Prapanch Shunya. Prapanch Shunya is when the plurality is gone. Everything is one. No suffering. What is this? A state of no suffering. This is Nirvana. This is Chatush Koti Vinirmukt, which we studied. No plurality, no complexity. This is Prapancha Shunya, which we cannot describe it. So there are like the two kind of the shunyas that are possible. Another thing which we talked about shunya, the this is something that everyone is focusing on, but the thing that they should focus on is the another definition of shunya, which is relativity. Relativity. The things of this world are relatively unreal. Okay, so what is the truth? The truth of this world, they said, the truth of this world is like this. So first, there is Samvarti Sat, the and the Pramar Sat. Pramar Sat will be the ultimate reality. Samvarti Sat is of two type. One is alok, then lok. I'll tell you what comes after it. Now, the alok is something. These are ladders. You see, these are ladders. You go on this, and then you can get here. Here you'll get the pramarth. Now, the lok and alok, they are like the two kind of samvarti sat. Now, alok is something that is not part of this world. Like, for example, you're dreaming, and you in the dream you see a lion and you're really scared, or you have a nightmare, you're just sweating. So at that time, that is the truth for you. At that particular time, that is all that is there for you. You are feeling all those feelings, and you don't know what is true or what is not true. That is the alokik sat. Then you wake up suddenly, and you come to this particular phase, the lok. This is where you have all the things of the pratitya samatpat. Now this is relatively unreal to that, right? The dreaming state is relatively unreal. At that time that was real for you, relatively it is unreal. Nagarjun is saying that there is something. What if this is also relatively unreal? This world is relatively unreal to something bigger than that. That is the Pramad Sat, the Pramad Nirvana. So when you will have the highest knowledge, you are going to reach here, and this will be relatively unreal. This is the philosophy. This will become the relatively unreal. This is where you're going to get the nirvana. If you have studied about Kant, we are going to study about Kant, and Kant said that this stage, the lok, alok, this is known as phenomena of this world, and this pramarth is nomina, the transcendental feelings that are there, the transcendental that you cannot describe. They're not saying that this is unreal or this is unreal, this is so not unreal. He's not saying that this is unreal, he's just saying that relatively unreal. That is the truth. But if you want to come here, the path is this only. You have to go through the ladders. So the path to reach this pramarth, the path to reach the pramarth is through phenomena only. So the nirvana, I'm not saying, so he's saying that the nirvana itself is not shunya, but it is shunya in context of this relation. You cannot explain it. Relatively, it is shunya. So these are the two meanings of the shunya that we said. Two meanings of the shunya that Nagarjun discussed. Now we are done with the two meanings of the shunya. I have told you about the chatur vinirmukt, the relativity. That's the main thing. That was something that everyone should have focused on, but they are not focusing on it. And how you're going to get the nirvana. So this is Shunyavad. So if I'm going to recap, we studied about the two schools of the Heinyan, and we have studied the two schools of Mahayana. We studied about the realist school of the Heinyan. We studied about the idealist school of the Heinyan. We studied about the idea based Vigyanvad of Mahayana, and we studied about the Shunyavad. The realist school was Vibhashik, idealist school was Sotantric. So this is pretty much the four schools that we have to study. Once you're done with the lectures, try to watch them at 2x. Once you're done with them, revise your notes and understand the topic. If you want me to do the UPSC previous year questions, please comment below and we are going to do them. Till then, thank you.